Welcome to the Breakers at Summit Church in West Olive, Michigan. I'm here doing a course preview with my buddy Zach. He's a 914 rated AM2, hates vegetables, and loves the Berg. This course was designed and put in 2018. New to the game of disc golf, but it's got a lot of potential for big tournaments coming up. We're here on hole 1, 351 feet, straightforward. The entryway driveway on the left is usually going to be playing as OB. That's for on and over. We do have hole 2 to our right here, so not too much to worry about on that side. The terrain is very common like this in this area, not just for this course. Hard-packed sand, short grass. And for this hole, you basically just want to fire one straight at the basket. It's a long, straight shot. And you want to ultimately end up pin high to the right side of the basket, as that's going to be your best entryway into this cluster of trees that the basket sits in. That'll give you the best window for a nice putt.
Here we've got hole 2, 338 foot shot. Another park style hole. There are 2 gaps off the tee, the biggest gap being on the left side. The goal of this hole really is to get something holding a line, pushing forward, and dodging a couple of the trees in the fairway. As we approach the basket, it is slightly uphill on a man-made ledge with circle 1 playing as like a beach sand area. If you land short here, like I said, you'll have a slightly uphill putt. And if you go deep, you're just putting back down at it. Pretty routine par 3.
And here we've got hole 3. It's 277 feet, not very far. A lot of folks are going to play this straight at it, maybe bending left to right with a little bit of an Anheuser shot. Some folks will also crash in to the green using a big ol' hyzer because it is only 277 feet. But my play on this one is grab your favorite mid-range and throw it straight at it. Even if you land a little bit short, like I said earlier, the grass is hard packed, not very long, and the sand underneath is pretty tough too, so it'll slide right up into the green. Give you a good putt.
Coming up to hole 4, there are 2 ways to attack this basket. The hole itself is 230 feet. The biggest gap is on the left here. It's pretty wide open. For a right-handed player, it's going to be a forehand shot. For a lefty, stock hyzer. The trouble with this is getting the distance correct. Too short, you're going to end up in the cluster of trees. Too long, you find yourself behind this pine. The aim, obviously, is to get through this gap that we're approaching now and just trying to slide up to the basket that is on this little mound. The more technical of the gaps is here on the right, 10 to 15 feet wide or about 150 feet. The goal here is throw a putter or maybe a slow mid-range as straight as you can. As we get to the end of the gap, there is 1 tree just standing in your way from sliding up to the pin. You get past that, you'll be looking pretty good for an easy 2.
Next up, we do have hole 5, 351 feet. Another pick your poison hole here. We're going to explore the right side first. This is a very common shot for right-hand, backhand players. The problem with this one is being as far as it is, it can be difficult to get the right angle, as a hyzer shot will want to get down before you get the distance. 351 feet is semi-far on hyzer for a lot of folks. That'd be equivalent to a full flex 400 foot shot. Not everybody's bag. And if you get it high enough, you get caught up on the trees anyway. Our second look at it goes the left side. Arguably just as difficult as a shot. It's a little more open, but you do have a couple of fairly large trees in the fairway that will kick you either way. If you kick left, it's absolute jail over there. If you kick right, it's surely not much better. If you're going this way, right hand, backhand, it's going to need to be a pretty powerful anhyzer shot. But if you're lefty, this feels like the better way to go. If you miss the trees in the middle of the fairway, this is the easier shot as it is a wider fairway. Coming into the green, you've got a slope going away, so don't overshoot the basket, otherwise you're going to end up at the bottom of the hill.
Next up, we're looking at hole 6, 206-foot shot. One of my favorite on the course. A couple different ways to attack it. You can go left, right, or center. My favorite approach here is any sort of putter up the middle. Good chance at ace runs, going right at it. If you want to go a hyzer route, lefty hyzer on the left side, righty hyzer on the right side, we'll get you there as well. Just a really cool looking hole. One of the neatest ones on this course.
Next up, we've got hole 7, 423 feet. Often you can find this played as a par 4. Right off the drive, you're down in a little bit of a bowl, so you're kind of throwing at an incline to start with. That can be difficult to get the right nose angle, along with the tree that was in the middle of the fairway back there. The sign on that tells you all you need to know about how often it gets hit. An excellent shot gets you somewhere in this range right here, somewhere in this area for a nice second shot up into the green. Parking lot on the right and all connected cement sometimes plays as OB. In a lot of tournaments you'll find it played that way. Your second shot gets up into the green here to give yourself a putt and move on to hole 8.
Hole 8, 191 feet. The shortest hole on the course here. The fairway is just lined with sand, so it's kind of like a beach type atmosphere. This is another hole where a putter or maybe a slow mid-range comes into play. For righty backhand, soft hyzer shot. For me being a lefty, I like to throw a little turnover putter and just have it hold the angle. Majority of the danger on this hole is going deep, as behind the basket it drops off pretty severely. Play it up to just the top here. Don't go down the hill.
Hole 9 here, 219 feet. A lot of potential for aces on this hole as long as you can clear the pond. There is a little bailout zone to the left side as well as a drop zone pad over there for if you do land in the water. But this one's just right in front of you. Reach out, grab it, throw your favorite putter or mid-range at it, and hope you don't bounce off the trees and roll back into the water. This is a lot of people's favorite hole out here.
As we start the back nine here at hole 10, it is a 385-foot hole. For the first 200-ish feet, it's pretty wide open, but it does get a little dicey as you approach this tree line. Throwing something flat and hard, fairway driver will help get you out of here. Lately, I've actually been trying the roller approach, and I've had some pretty good luck with it. So if you feel like risking a couple strokes, try a roller. You might be surprised at the result. As you get out of this tree line, that does open up to just some flat ground before you have to cross this little drive that does play as out of bounds. Your approach here can be very tricky as the green does have a lot of little trees that could hinder a good putt. As you get up there, putt it out, move on to hole 11.
Hole 11, 502 feet. Big old tree right smack in the middle of the fairway, just off the tee. A lot of people hit that when they're hoping for a nice solid drive. This one is very commonly played as a par 4 as well. Probably the signature hole for this course, in my opinion. You're going to want to get something out to somewhere in this range off of your drive. That would be perfect. that kind of gives you a look as you bend into the woods here. Getting into the woods, you have to navigate a couple of opening trees here, and you kind of find yourself in a bit of a congested hallway. Not a whole lot of room over the top. Really, it's just a skillful putter shot or mid-range, something to slide you up here into the green where you're going to be putting at an elevated basket. Any 3 on this hole is magnificent, and I don't know if I've heard of many 2s.
Showing up at hole 12, it's a 240-foot lefty hyzer shot. Plays well to my game, otherwise righty forehand. Low shot, trying to dodge the opening trees there. You kind of want to land just at the bend we're about to approach and get a good skip over to the right. The danger on this hole is connecting with one of these early trees and sending you off the fairway to where you're going to be in jail. So a good shot gets you up within circle 2, circle 1, where you have a pretty unopposed putt at the basket.
Hole 13, 302. This hole pretty much plays as a U-turn once you get out here into the open. That's some early trouble navigating a little bit of a tight fairway there. If you come up a little short of the U-turn, you do have a hallway here on the left. But if you look ahead, you see these power lines over the top. You're going to want to follow those as your marker. Following those with something very strong, hyzer off of the tee, will land you somewhere around there. Pitch up for a putt, and you've got an unobstructed look at a 2 or a 3.
Hole 14 is just out of the woods. It's a 244-foot shot. This is one that's just kind of straight in front of you. A nice one to throw a couple shots at just because it's a nice ace run. Not a whole lot of danger on this hole. There is the road to the left. If you get an unfortunate kick off the tree, you can go out of bounds that way. Otherwise, there's just a few guardians as you get into circle 2 here that could stop you from being parked. Other than that, this is just another fun shot, good ace run, and you can really attack it anyway. You can go straight at it. If you've got the highs, like lefty hyzer, you can go over the top of everything. Just another fun hole to play.
Hole 15, 304. You've got a couple of different ways to attack this one as well. Right hand, you can throw a big forehand around the left side, but most people are going to be throwing straight up the gut on this one between these 2 pines. The gate here, if you will. You're going to want to have your shot continue straight, as it is a little further than you would think. You don't want to have too much hyzer coming into the green, however. You do want to have more forward push than to the left. And you just have a couple of guardian trees here to contend with for your birdie 2.
As we look at hole 16, it is a 280-foot shot. Another one that I like because it fits the lefty hyzer game pretty good. Off the tee, you've got a little corridor of trees to navigate through. It's a lefty backhand or a righty forehand that holds straight for 3/4 of the flight with a soft finish to the right. There is the road, the driveway on the right side that could come into play if you get an unlucky kick off a tree. Otherwise, not a whole lot of danger on this one as well. A couple trees to contend with as you approach the green. But with the pine needles on the ground, you can get a lot of good slide to get you right up next to the pole.
Hole 17, 309 feet. Got a couple of different ways to attack this one. You can throw a straight hyzer to the right side if you're a right-hand backhand and kind of bend it in. Or you can go around to the left with a long anhyzer shot, pushing more forward. You can also throw a forehand if you are inclined to do that to the left side, right-hand backhand. The basket itself is going to be kind of nestled in the middle row of trees, around 310 feet, and at 309 away from the tee pad. This is a great hole out here. There is some cut down stumps, some short stumps in the tee pad, so it might prevent you from sliding right up next to it, but this is a great hole to get a 2 on.
as we round out the course here at Breakers, hole 18, 377 foot. Not too much in the way off the tee. This is one where you can really let something rip. As you get through that initial, I wouldn't even say cluster tree, a couple trees in the way, but it's really wide open. Just pump something out here. Pretty fair landing spot, pretty wide. Again, there is the road on the right that you could get kicked off into, or for a lefty flare skip out of bounds. Otherwise, a good drive will land you anywhere from here up to the basket. A nice touch up shot or a long putt. Finish your round with a nice 2 or 3.
Thank you so much to Sweet Spot Disc Golf for giving us the means to make this video. I also want to say thank you so much to the Summit Church for hosting and maintaining this course. Some really amazing folks to work with. And thank you to Zach as well for doing voiceover with me. Very much appreciate it. And I also want to thank the entire disc golf community for really making this course happen. This course has been pretty rough, but it was put into the ground quickly, and a lot of people really took a liking to it. It's in a great location, beautiful weather a lot of the time. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.